2 Peter chapter 2. Just as there were false prophets, there will be false teachers among you. 2 Peter chapter 2 serves as a strong warning against false teachers and their destructive influence on the body of Christ. It highlights the consequences of following false doctrines and immoral behavior. The chapter also references examples from the Old Testament, emphasizing God's judgment on the wicked and His ability to deliver the righteous. Overall, the chapter underscores the importance of discernment and remaining faithful to the true teachings of the Scriptures. Exegesis by sections and verses. Verses 1 to 3. Warning against false teachers. Peter starts by warning the readers about the presence of false prophets and false teachers who will secretly bring in destructive heresies. These deceivers will deny the Lord who bought them and will exploit the believers with deceptive words. Their actions will bring swift destruction upon themselves, and their false teachings will lead many astray. Verses 4 to 10. Examples of God's judgment. Peter uses examples from the Old Testament to illustrate God's judgment on the wicked. He mentions the judgment upon the angels who sinned, the ancient world during the time of Noah, and the destruction of Sodom and Gomorrah. These instances demonstrate that God knows how to judge the unrighteous and deliver the righteous. Peter emphasized that the Lord knows how to reserve the unjust for punishment and preserve the righteous for salvation. Verses 11 to 22. Description of false teachers. Peter describes the characteristics and behavior of false teachers. They are arrogant, self-willed, and despise those who are in authority. They are not afraid to speak evil of dignitaries, and they exhibit unrestrained indulgence in their own desires. They entice unstable souls and promise freedom, while they themselves are slaves of corruption. Peter compares them to Balaam, a prophet from the Old Testament who misled others for personal gain. He warns that these false teachers will face severe judgment, and describes them as springs without water, clouds carried by the storm, and wandering stars reserved for darkness. Overall summary. 2 Peter chapter 2 delivers a strong warning against false teachers and their destructive influence. Peter urges the readers to be cautious and discerning, emphasizing the consequences of following false doctrines and engaging in immoral behavior. He refers to examples from the Old Testament to illustrate God's judgment on the wicked and His ability to deliver the righteous. The chapter highlights the characteristics and behaviors of false teachers, portraying them as deceitful and corrupt. Ultimately, the chapter serves as a call to remain faithful to the true teachings of the Scriptures, and to be aware of the dangers posed by false teachers.